I will make sure that I get my news coverage from a reliable source.
Hey players, good morning players, good morning players, all players, hey players, Musty, Marjorie, Frumpy, this is incitement of an insurrection. They suspended her without explanations. This witness wasn't shown on camera because she was underage, and a spokesperson for Mayor Jeffery Hash said to the motherfucking dog, and the mariachi band being placed outside of his house. This is Double Dee reporter for the Black Green News, where I'm black and the news is always accurate. Players, grab your teacup. It's time for Real Tea with Double Dee. Hey players, how are y'all doing out there? So excited to be with you all tonight to record a brand new episode of the Real Tea with Double Dee. Of course, I am Double Dee and we are on the GSMC Podcasting Network. Players, your girl had some trouble getting in here tonight. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. I'm telling you, I have been trying to get my babies I had to get my babies fed and bathed and all of that. And then I still had to do some research for this. And I had everything lined up in my mind of how I was going to do this show. But I had a little snafu because when I went to go and actually upload some videos that I wanted to share with you all tonight, players, it just didn't work out the way it was supposed to work out. Now, on the previous show, you can't make this up, I did all of the finding of the clips and everything, but I didn't have to do any of the back end work like loading them in. I just did it for my own podcast, so I know how to do it. It's not like I didn't know how to do it, but I just didn't know how to get the video from my phone onto the computer so that I can play them for you guys. So I figured it out. It was just a large file, and it was such a long, because this interview was like 15 minutes, and I basically had to break it up into smaller portions so that I can play it for you all, because I want you guys to have full context. This is a jam-packed episode, and I really mean it this time. So I want y'all to buckle up and come on, let's grab your teacups, baby, because I'm telling you, this tea is piping hot tonight, honey. There is a lot that we got to go over. The main thing that we have to talk about at the top of the hour is the unfortunate situation that occurred in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and that would be Mr. Jason Walker. But first, let's get these pleasantries out of the way. Let me speak to everybody out there in Facebook land and everybody out there in YouTube land. Thank you all for joining me tonight to record this brand new episode. Remember, when I'm recording an episode, I can't interact with you guys as much as I would like to, but I'm still going to interact with you guys, and I'm so glad to have you all with me joining me tonight. I have a new shirt on. You guys out in podcasting land, you can't see it, but I have a new shirt on. That podcast that I did a week ago, they actually sent me and my husband shirts, and they sent us a hat as well. So this is Mavs Sports Take. So if you guys are looking for a brand new podcast to listen to, if you're into sports, and I think during the off season they talk about other things because they actually offer to invite me on, you guys go check that out. That is available on wherever you stream your podcast. That is Mavs Sports Take. And it was a good time. All of y'all came over there and showed up and showed out. They were so impressed that I brought the crowd with me. And they were also impressed with me that I, kind of knew what I was talking about. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Double D, you can't miss on no research. You're not going to have me coming out here looking dumb. So, and also thank you to everybody who's listening out there in podcasting world. I really appreciate you guys for holding me down. I know some of this stuff that you all can't see, but I do try to do my best to describe it to you all because I want you to kind of have full context. And I really appreciate everybody who supports the show out there in podcasting world. And if you're following and there's where you're able to do a review, feel free to drop a review. Let Double D know how she's doing because I really love to hear it. Now, y'all, the pleasantries are out the way. Let me do this one more time. Thank you to everybody out there in Facebook world and YouTube world. I see y'all. Lisa, my regulars, Trent, Felicia, all of you all. Marion, I see you all. I appreciate you all for coming and joining me again tonight. Thank y'all so much. Now, let's go ahead and get into it, you guys. Now, we're going to go ahead and start off with this unfortunate situation that occurred in Fayetteville, North Carolina. You all know I have been talking about this on my page. I've been putting videos up, and I am just so sad by what occurred on January 8th. This is Mr. Jason Walker. He's a father. I believe that he's a husband. No, excuse me, just a devoted father and a great guy, 37 years old. A situation happened out there where he was killed. And, you know, it's been very perplexing. And I'm going to tell you something. The way the police department has been handling this situation has really been giving me pause. They have handed this over to the SBI, which was probably in the best interest of the case. But I can tell you this still doesn't erase what they've done thus far. And what they've done thus far is a bunch of malarkey and bullcrap. I can tell you that just from looking at it. So let's just go ahead and set the scene here. So apparently, now I'm going to go with some factual information and then some of what I've heard. And if I say it's what I've heard, then we could just perceive it as not fact. Okay. So Mr. Jason here, he is walking across the street. And from what his wife said, he was going to, from what someone said, that he was walking home. So he was walking across this highway when he encounters an off-duty police officer, Jeffery Hash. Okay. So he encounters Jeffery Hash, and somehow or another, Jeffrey's in his pickup truck, a big red pickup truck, F-150 looks like, and he stops because Jeffrey is crossing the street. Okay, so he says that he stopped. Okay, so reports are also saying that he hit Jason. I don't know if this is, I don't know which one is, we don't know which one it is at this point, but we're going to get to the meat and the potatoes of the situation as this goes on. So just come with me, okay? So Jason, somehow he encounters Jeffrey, and Jeffrey gets out of his vehicle and he shoots Jason several times. Jason's laying there on the ground. Jeffrey is just not helping him, not doing anything, and he goes to call 911. And this is the scene that I wanted to play you all that occurred while he's on the phone with 911. And I really want you to listen closely to what is being said from Jeffrey, that's the off-duty police officer. I want you to listen closely to what's being said, and then also what's being said to him from some of the bystanders. So listen very closely, because we're going to discuss it.
Okay, I'm trying to protect my daughter. My wife is supposed to be more gas around. People are hostile right now.
Nobody's hostile. Don't you fucking say that. Nobody's hostile. Don't you fucking say that.
I hear.
Don't you fucking say that. Nobody's hostile.
They're pulling up now. I'm trying. No, nobody else is hurt.
It's shot on the ground. No, it's an kind of a fucking emergency. This is the man going to shoot.
Very light. I don't know where the entry point is.
Who saw it?
I didn't see it. We heard it. I heard 4 gunshots that came outside.
Mine's on my side. Yes. Okay, got it. I was coming down here. He ran across the street, so I stopped. Jumped on my car, started screaming. He pulled my windshield and started beating the glass. I have my daughter and my child in here. Okay, got it. Are you related to anybody here? No. You too. Got it. Is your family? No. Okay, gotcha. Okay, these are some? Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So if you heard there, Jeffrey says the first thing that he said that stood out to me was that he said that the crowd was hostile. The crowd was not hostile until it, and then they weren't even hostile after he said that. He just told them, look, stop fucking lying. Nobody's hostile. And you know why he said that. You know, do you really want to know why that stood out to the person that's in the crowd? George Floyd. Do you all remember when George Floyd was laying there on the ground and they kept saying that this was a hostile environment? You know, they were pointing, Tao was pointing his gun at the crowd and saying that they were hostile and all this kind of stuff. And during the trial, they actually testified that this was a hostile environment. And the guy made sure that he pointed that out and told him, no, don't fucking say that. This isn't a hostile crowd. You know what I mean? So that was the first thing that stuck out to me. And then the second thing that stuck out to me is that this young lady was on the ground trying to help, you know, Jason, and nobody was helping him. He's standing up here talking to 911 and nobody is helping her. Nobody's trying to assist her. Someone finally handed her a towel so that she could start trying to stop the bleeding for the wounds and stuff like that. But I mean, the officer who was supposed to be trained, you know, I just want, and then we're going to skip over here to the 911 call, and I'm going to play you guys a portion of the 911 call. And I played this on earlier on my video, and I just want to play it again so we can kind of match things up.
I'm the deputy sheriff. Come here. He jumped on my vehicle. I just had to shoot him.
Okay, can you tell me what happened?
I was driving down the road and he came flying across Bingham Drive running, and then I stopped so I wouldn't hit him, and he jumped on my car and started screaming, pulled my windshield wipers off and started beating my windshield and broke my windshield. I had my wife and my daughter in my vehicle.
Okay. Did he have any weapons, sir?
No, he just tore my wipers off and started beating the door.
Okay.
He busted my windshield. I don't know, ma'am.
All right. Take deep breaths for me, okay? How many people are surrounding you?
Do what now, ma'am?
How many people are out there around you?
There's tons of cars and people gathering around you. Okay. He had a light pulse right now. The EMS is now.
Okay, they are en route, okay? Where was he shot?
I have a trauma nurse out here.
Okay, I understand. Can somebody tell me where he was shot?
Can you find the holes, ma'am? No, I'm seeing blood on this side, ma'am.
Okay. Is she getting a clean, dry cloth?
Call Papa now. Here's the towel. Where did you shoot him, sir? Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, just focus on me for a minute, okay? Does somebody have a clean, dry cloth?
Ma'am, say again?
Okay, does anybody have a clean, dry cloth?
Yes, we are plugging the holes now.
Okay, all right, tell her to keep pressure on the hole and don't lift it up.
Now. Where did you shoot him? Where did you shoot him? I don't know. He was on the front of my vehicle. He jumped in my car. Where's the entry point?
Players, there's a dead fish on the line and it's starting to. So when the police officer, when Jeffery Hash actually started this phone call with 911, the first thing he says out of his mouth that he's an off-duty police officer. That's the first. He's an off-duty sheriff deputy. That's the first thing that comes out of his fucking mouth. You know, I hate that because when they do that to me, I feel like they're just using it as leverage. And I'm going to explain to you why they're using it as leverage, because this man is not treated as a normal freaking person that just shot somebody. Despite the fact that he may be saying, oh, this person jumped onto my vehicle and they did this. If he had been a regular smegular person like me, it wouldn't have mattered what he said. He would have been placed in handcuffs and put in the back of the police car until they could get things sorted out. It is a disgrace to me that the chief of police, Gina Hawkins, actually said, oh, well, he's going to be treated like a regular smegular person. Well, he hasn't been thus far. So what are you guys going to do to change it? Because when they got onto the scene, they should have that man should have been placed in handcuffs and put in the back of the police car. And he should have made his statements down at the station. You know what I'm saying? It was because he was a police officer that he was treated differently. And nobody's going to be able to convince me otherwise. So we have this lady that is supposed to be a trauma nurse. She is down here trying to take care of Jason. And Jason, unfortunately, he slips away and he dies. So according to the chief of police, who this happened on Saturday. So on Sunday, the chief of police, Gina Hawkins, and the district attorney, I think his name is Billy West, they had a press conference to update everybody on what supposedly happened, because it's two conflicting stories at this point. There is one witness at the scene that has said that they didn't see Jason get hit by a car. But Jeffrey, who's the off-duty police officer, is saying that he did not hit Jason, that Jason jumped onto his vehicle, pulled off his windshield wipers with his bare hands, and started beating the window. And that is why he subsequently got out of the car and started shooting Jason. So this is what the police officer's story is, okay? So now Sunday we get to the press conference. And in my opinion, Gina, the chief of police, first thing they say is, oh, well, we're going to hand this investigation over to the SBI. Now, in my opinion, when I first heard this, when I'm watching this press conference, I'm thinking to myself, okay, if they're going to hand this over to the SBI, then they're not going to make any statements or answer any questions in relation to the case. Because at the end of the day, if you are saying that this could be a conflict of interest, you're not going to make any statements either way. You know what I'm saying? This is Double D Mother's opinion. You know what I'm saying? So she's not going to make any statements. Oh, no, honey. She made some statements and she wanted to clear some things up. You know, and that is the part that gives me pause, because at the end of the day, somebody should have advised her not to make any statements relevant to the case at that point, that they had passed it over to the SBI. But no, honey. Gina Hawkins has got to open up her mouth and starts explaining the evidence, which in my opinion, she should have never done. You know, they should have just kept their mouth closed, but I digress. So she goes and she starts explaining, she starts explaining what they have thus far. So they have one witness that is saying that they did not see Jason get hit. They said they've only heard from one witness that actually supposedly seen the incident occur. And this person says they didn't see Jason get hit by Jeffrey's vehicle. Okay. So then she goes on to say that there is this subsequent black box that is equipped on this truck that will show us whether Jeffrey came in contact with anything, if he hit anything, if he got into a car accident, if he hit any deers, anything like that, this box is supposed to show us. And she says after the analysis, they say that this box does not indicate that Jeffrey hit anything. This is what she's saying. She also said that the windshield was broken on the vehicle, but it looks to be strikes from the windshield wiper, and that the windshield wiper was detached from the vehicle. This is what she says. Now, you listen to all of that, because that is basically explaining what the officer has said. She also said that they had questioned the officer and they had let him go. Okay. Now, so meanwhile, in Fayetteville, the family is demanding answers. They're having protests demanding answers. Everybody has seen this video of Jason laying on this ground like this, and they want answers. So the family has retained Ben Crump as their attorney. Ben Crump makes his first initial statement, and he basically says that Jeffrey was shot in the back. Also, the family is saying that Jeffrey is shot in the back. Also, the trauma nurse that was there is saying that Jeffrey was shot in the back. So that would indicate to everyone that I'm saying Jeffrey, but I mean Jason. So that would indicate to everyone that Jason was walking away, you know. So that's what everybody is saying, that he was shot 4 times in the back. But again, We have no autopsy report at this point. So I'm going to say this is allegedly shot in the back. Okay. So Gina continues the press conference. She said that they've only heard from one witness. They want anybody that has any information to come forward. So we all know that there's this trauma nurse that has been to the protest, and she has said that she saw the whole thing, and that he was shot in the back, and that she just wanted to comfort him and all this kind of stuff. So she speaks she speaks at one of the marches, okay? And I want to play y'all, and I hope that y'all can hear this because I forgot to load it in, but this is very important. I want to play you all what she had to say at the press conference, and I pray that this microphone is going to be good enough to pick this up, because I really want you all to hear what she has to say, because this is going to go into my later information. Lord Jesus Christ, where are you? Where are you, baby? Come on. Come on, Double D. Where are you? Where are you? Here she is. Okay, here we go, y'all. I'm about to play this.
I didn't care where he was or anything else. I saw a brother. I saw someone. He needed me because no one else was going to help him. No one else. And I'm saying this. He was not acting crazy. He didn't jump on traffic. That officer, murderer, shot him, hit him with his car. How would Jason jump onto a big truck? Explain that to me. And then you're in here for your life, and you are in a big truck.
So that is what she had to say at the press conference. I mean, not the press conference, but the march that the family and everyone held out there in North Carolina. She's saying that Jeffery Hash hit Jason with his truck. So today I discovered that she has done an interview. Now I had to cut this up into 3 pieces, but please, you guys, all 70 people, you guys stick around, because this is very important for you all to hear what happened in this interview and how I really want you guys to hear it. So we're going to start off with the first one.
Made a left onto Bingham, and then I saw, like, as we were coming through, there was a red truck, and I saw it from behind in clear view, and I saw him like brake and completely stop, and then kept going. And then as we were approaching, I saw him hit Jason. And from what I saw from behind, at first when that part happened, was he hit him and Jason hit forward, and then his body was slammed onto the windshield. And then from behind, as I saw, and I heard the gunshots, the first one I saw was, from the looks of it, he shot through the windshield first, and then he started shooting the 3 other shots outside the vehicle.
And again, give me your vantage point of where you're seeing this. Are you behind the vehicle, the red truck, or are you on the side?
Right behind it, and then pulling up to the side of it.
And what made you decide to pull up to the side of it? Is it because you're saying that the red truck put on brakes?
No, not because of that, because I saw someone was hit. I wasn't sure exactly, or he struck something, and then went to the side because I heard the gunshots, and then I was like, what's going on? And then my boyfriend pulled up right beside him, and then rolled down the window, and I was like, what did you just do? And he's like, I'm an officer, keep going, ma'am. And then I said, hell no. I jumped out the car and I ran right to Jason. And then from that point, I saw the pool of blood from his back, and I was screaming, I need something to put on his wounds. I need to find the entry point. I need to see the exit wound and on where all the blood was gushing from. I was screaming, I need a towel. The officer wasn't really paying any attention to me. He was on the phone, and until another bystander ran out, he's the one that gave me a towel and the shirt off his back, and I was able to put pressure on it. And then I felt for a pulse, and he had a faint pulse, but it was still there. And I know I was talking to him, trying to calm him down, even though he might have not heard me, he was in and out. I was like, it's going to be okay, baby. Just hold on. They're coming. You're going to be just fine. And then he did a one.
Okay, I'm not going to let you all hear that part. Okay, so she goes on to explain that Jeffrey, he took his, Jason, he took his last breath there. So there she's explaining that she was behind the vehicle when the actual collision between Jason and Jeffrey occurred. And when Jeffrey slammed on his brakes, that's what prompted her to go around to the side. And when she went around to the side, the deputy, Jeffery Hash, was just like, no, I'm a police officer. You can go on. And she was like, no, fuck that. I'm staying. I'm about to go on and see what's going on. So here's another important part that she talked about her being a trauma nurse.
I want to backtrack just a bit because you mentioned that you were the only one that rendered aid. And
Yes,
I remember being in the press conference with the police chief, and she answered that question saying that there was a medical professional, I'm assuming she's talking about you, that was on scene, that was rendering aid. One of her officers looked to make sure that you were rendering that aid and then continued with the investigation. Your response to her saying that, the Chief Hawkins.
Well, the first time I watched it was last night. So I was kind of taken back, going back a little bit to, she hasn't directly talked to me. None of her officers have taken a statement from me. No one has came to my house from the police department. So how would she know I was a first responder? And how is that my job? I'm not a hospital, unfortunately. How would they verify that as well? Who told them I was a nurse? And I'm no longer in that field. So I wanted to address that as well. Because no one came up to help me either. And none of those officers asked me if I was a nurse. So that's why I'm confused.
We hear on the 911 call from, and we assume that this is Lieutenant Hash, saying that we have a trauma nurse here. The assumption is that he's referring to you since you are the one by Jason Walker's body. So that's the first time that we hear trauma nurse. Are you a trauma nurse? Were you a trauma nurse?
I worked in the trauma field. I have a medical background, but I am not currently working as a nurse, haven't been employed in a hospital. I chose a different direction of profession.
How many years ago was that you were working in the trauma sector in a medical facility?
4
years.
So I don't know why Jeffrey called her a trauma nurse. I don't know if, when emotions are high and things are going fast, maybe when he told her, no, get back in the car, maybe she's just, maybe she said, I can help. I worked in trauma department or something. And maybe he assumed she was a trauma nurse, or maybe she said she was a trauma nurse. He had to get that from somewhere. That just don't come out of the blue, out of somebody, to just say that she was, no, he did not know her. They don't know each other. So that just don't come out of the blue. And it's too much of a coincidence for him to make it up. and say she's a trauma nurse and she worked in trauma. No, Jason was not driving a vehicle. He was walking across the street. So I'm not sure how these lines have gotten crossed in this situation, but now the interviewer is going to ask her, has she spoken to the police? Because again, remember, Chief Gina Hawkins has said that they have not spoken to but one witness, and this witness stated that Jeffrey did not hit Jason with the vehicle. Okay, so now they're going to talk about, and this is the last one. Now they're going to talk about her speaking to SBI and how has that gone?
Regardless, and no one can intimidate me into silence anymore.
Well, I'm glad you're saying this, Ms. Ricks, because let's get back to the SBI investigation now that they are the lead. Given what you said, saying that what you saw was Lieutenant Hash shooting through the windshield, you saw Lieutenant Hash hit Jason Walker. That is pertinent information that would be helpful to the SBI investigation. So again, I ask, given the threats that you're going through, given the hardships, this seems to be some important information that investigators would need to hear. So why haven't you reached out to give that information?
My attorney is currently collaborating with the SBI in our voices and speaking up on this matter. And I will address that's happening, and I don't want anyone to think that we haven't taken action.
When did you retain a lawyer?
Currently today, before this meeting and everything.
Okay, so those conversations between your lawyer and the SBI will happen. They have not happened yet.
Yeah, so like regarding that, since I haven't had a face-to-face with my attorney yet, we've only spoken brief. He's just putting me on the side of caution, what I say. So right now, that's kind of what all I'm going to be able to say at this point regarding how everything directly took place.
Okay. This is a very controversial issue, as you can imagine.
So she hasn't spoken with SBI yet. So we know that Gina Hawkins has not spoken with her. She's even admitted that she hasn't spoken with the SBI yet or the police. So I need her to go in and make her statement. You know, I don't understand why the SBI hasn't contacted her. She had direct contact with Jason during all of this. I'm just not understanding what is going on with this investigation. There is no preliminary autopsy report. Bob Saget died. The next day, we knew that there was no foul play involved. And you have a situation like this where you can't tell us whether this man how many times he was shot, if he was shot in the back, and also if he was hit by a vehicle. Because if he was hit by this man's vehicle, it's going to be some wounds or something there. You know what I'm saying? We're going to know something. You know what I'm saying? So why is this taking so long? So I just want to see what comes out in the Washington Ranching. A lot of confusing information here. Too many conflicting stories that are going back and forth and back and forth. And I'm going to be honest with you, with Elizabeth and this interview concerns me. Because if there's a court case, they're definitely going to bring that video, that interview into play. And in my opinion, looking at that as a paralegal, I'm not an attorney, but as a paralegal, I saw so many places where I can pounce, especially if the evidence doesn't reflect what she's saying. So I'm hoping that, I just wish that people wouldn't do things like this. I wish that people wouldn't, when they are privy to significant things that are going on in certain legal cases, especially involving the police, why do you need to give up your information? Why did you feel it pertinent for you to go and do this interview before you even talk to the SBI? You know what I'm saying? I feel like somebody should have advised. I think if she had retained an attorney, I think any attorney worth their salt is going to tell her not to do what she did today. But I'm not jumping on her because she did say that she's been receiving death threats and things like that. I don't know why she would be receiving death threats and where would these death threats come from. But if she is, I can kind of understand her wanting to come forth and speak on what she saw, and what happened there. I can kind of understand it, but any attorney worth their salt is going to tell you not to do something like that. But I digress. So this is a very complicated situation. I'm going to say this, that we should wait for the autopsy report and also support the family. If you are able to donate to their GoFundMe, they do have a GoFundMe available because they may need to do an independent autopsy. We don't know what the deal is with these cops. So they may need to do an independent autopsy and they're going to have funds for that. So if you can donate to their GoFundMe, even if it's $5, just to help them so they can start building up those funds that they're going to need to find the truth on what really happened to Jason Walker, because this is just an unfortunate situation. Even if he did jump onto his windshield and do whatever, that was no cause to shoot nobody. He was in a big truck. You could have easily drove off. You know what I'm saying? This is just disgusting. So one more development in that case, and then we're going to move on. The Fayetteville Police Chief, Gina Hawkins, has asked for the court to release the body camera footage of Jason of the aftermath. So Gina Hawkins filed a petition with the courts on Tuesday requesting the request of the body camera footage that will show exchanges between the Fayetteville police officers and 3 witnesses at the scene of the fatal shooting Saturday. She said that the petition filed on the 3rd day of demonstrations in the city. Of course, we know that they've been doing this and that. They said that 2 witnesses have made comments on social media, released video, and spoke at a protest regarding this incident, generating a significant amount of public attention. The body-worn footage captured the statements of those 3 witnesses. So they want them to release it. In the state of North Carolina in 2016, body worn and dash camera footage is not public record and can only be released by the court. So that's the reason why she filed the petition in court. So hopefully that happens and maybe we'll get some more answers. But again, I need that autopsy report. I need it expeditiously because this is ridiculous. I declare, honey, this is so sad. So my condolences, positive vibes, and prayers are going out to the family of Jason Walker. He has a child there that needs his father. And I am so sad to hear this. And I'm definitely sending positive vibes to get to them. Again, if you are listening and you're able to donate to their GoFundMe, please go and contribute because that will be a big help for them. So we're going to go ahead and switch gears here. Child, y'all, we got to talk about this. Now, I've been waiting to talk about this for the past for a little while, and we got to go ahead and get this crack-a-lacking. Baby, and Coulter and Frumpy Dump. There's some smoke in the city, big baby. There's some smoke in the city. There is confusion amongst the ranks, okay? Child, now I know y'all know who Ann Coulter is, but if y'all don't, let me refresh y'all memory. Now, y'all know that she is one of Frumpy Dump's lead taint sniffers. And she wrote a book called In Trump We Trust. Baby, I had to check. When I seen this on my Twitter feed, I had to check to make sure this was true, honey. And I declare, what a disgrace. It is true. She wrote a book called In Trump We Trust. She is a stark conservative. Ann Coulter, everybody should know her. She's a major shit talker about the Democrats and Black Lives Matter and things like that. She's a major shit talker. But one thing for certain and 2 things for sure, she is a Frumpy Dump taint sniffer. And for her to write a book called In Trump We Trust, baby, I got to sip some tea on that. Please grab your teacups, honey. I declare, what a disgrace. So Ann Coulter and Frumpy Dump are into it, okay? Ann Coulter is upset because Frumpy Dump made some statements about none other than Ron Death Santis. Child, they are upset, and I'm telling you, they are clutching their pearls. They like not Frumpy Dump going after Ron DeSantis. Oh, child, this is a hot boo boo shitty mess. So what happened was that y'all know that Frumpy Dump feels like he made the vaccine himself. He actually feels like he was in the lab thinking of all the equations. He actually wrote out the whole formula and everything. And Frumpy Dump wants credit for this damn vaccine. If y'all remember, about a month ago, he had to actually punk Candace Owens' ass about talking shit about the vaccine. Frumpy Dump wants his credit for the vaccine no matter what the cost is. He wants his credit. Even though the Frumpy Dump tank sniffers don't give a damn what he says, they don't want to hear it. They actually have booed him on several occasions for talking about this vaccine, okay? But he wants his credit. He feels like Operation Warp Speed was the best thing since sliced bread, honey, and he wants his credit for the vaccine. He'll never get it from me because we all know that the government didn't pay not a damn quarter for the vaccine to get for the vaccine development. In fact, Dolly Parton paid more than the federal government did for the in the investment in the vaccine to get it developed. And we also know that Operation Warp Speed fucked up the distribution of the vaccine. They had no damn plan. They damn plan looked like this piece of damn paper, blank with a few words on it. That's exactly what it looked like. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. So Frumpy Dump wants his credit for the vaccine. He wants every one of the Republicans to talk good about the vaccine. He doesn't want them to push the tank sniffers to get the vaccine, but he wants them to talk about it in a loving way at all turns. So, baby, that better be him. Okay, I think that's my husband. I'm sorry, y'all. My husband that came in and scared the shit out of me. Anyway, so he wants credit for this vaccine at all costs, okay? And he wants them to talk nice about it. So Frumpy Dump went on to OAN, and he was asked about this situation with them not wanting to talk lovingly about the vaccine. And this is what happened.
It's something out there. But after now so many months of the vaccine being administered and these side effects and Americans' questions of it, do you reconsider your push for it, or what's your view now on the vaccine in general?
Well, I've taken it. I've had the booster. Many politicians, I watched a couple of politicians be interviewed, and one of the questions was, did you get the booster? Because they had the vaccine. And they're answering it like, in other words, the answer is yes, but they don't want to say it. Because they're gutless. You got to say it. Whether you had it or not, say it. Right. But the fact is that I think the vaccine has saved tens of millions of people throughout the world. I have had absolutely no side effects. I've had it like other people have had it, nothing special. I've had it.
So nothing bad there. So, but Frumpy Dump did have some more things to say about Ron DeSantis, but that right there is just to show you that he really speaks positively of the vaccine. Well, child, sugar pie honey buns. Ann Coulter went on Twitter and exercised her Twitter fingers, honey. And let's go ahead and read what she wrote. Exclusive. Trump is demanding to know Ron DeSantis' booster status, and I can now reveal it. He was a loyal booster when Trump ran in 2016, but then he learned our president was a liar and a con man whose grift was permanent. I hope that clears things up. I declare, honey, not Ann Coulter calling Frumpy Dump the permanent grift. Child, I was clutching my invisible damn pearls when I read that. I just could not believe that Ann Coulter went after Frumpy Dump. Of all people, Ann Coulter. She's about the only She said a permanent grift, y'all. She called Frumpy Dump a charlatan. Baby, it is some confusion amongst the ranks. They are upset, honey. And Frumpy Dump wants to get his credit for the booster and for the vaccine, and he wants it at all costs. And Ann Coulter said, no. Your ass, we don't want you in 2024. We want your permanent grifting ass on out of here. We want to support Ron DeSantis, even though he's killing off a half of his voter base in Florida. But I digress. Child, this is a hot boo boo shitty mess, and I must say, I fucking love it here. It's something about watching a group crumble from within that just gives me joy, especially a group like that, honey. it is a hot boo boo shitty mess. Let's just go ahead and say that Ed Coulter wins tweet of the day. So we're going to go ahead and scurry on, honey, and go talk about what is Venmo and Chill. Matt Gaetz, I declare, honey, what a disgrace. So as we know, Matt Gaetz is being investigated for his sexcapades out there in Florida. And today some things went down for him. So his ex-girlfriend, everybody is talking about this. His ex-girlfriend testified before a federal grand jury investigating him for sex crimes. The privileged pervert is in hot water. He is literally up shit creek without a paddle, honey. And everybody is talking about it. And they like, what is this lady testifying? So they actually reached out to her attorney, but she refused to, but they refused to comment. But and they also withheld the ex-girlfriend's name for her to respect her privacy. But she is testifying. And this is a probe regarding whether they were some people related in relation to Joel Greenberg, whether they, were messing with underage girls and stuff like that. And they said that this investigation is also supposed to be gonna bring to light whether in 2017 Matt Gaetz, the privileged pervert, had relations with a 17-year-old female for money, and whether months later he and others violated a federal law prohibiting people from transporting others across state lines to engage in prostitution. Child, not the privileged pervert does sat up here and traffic somebody. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. So he may be going to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. But my only problem with these types of investigations is, why the hell do they take so damn long? You know what I'm saying? It should take this long for this man to be prosecuted. They got the Venmo transactions. They got when it happened. All they got to do is find out whether he oochie coochie with her when she was 17. If he did, lock his ass up. Why do these investigations into these Congress members take so damn long? They did the shit. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. Just like Frumpy Dump in Georgia. I am so sick and tired of hearing about this investigation into him. It's either you going to go ahead and prosecute his ass, or you going to let him go ahead and be married, go on by his merry way. Child, quit wasting our time and having me make reports on shit for 50 years, knowing y'all ain't gonna never do nothing about it. Well, child, it is almost time for the end of the show, but guess what is your favorite time of the show? Let's get it. Players, it's time for another riveting episode of Play Stupid Games, Win Stupid Prizes. Players, it's time for another riveting episode of Play Stupid Games, Win Stupid Prizes. Players, take a look at this lovely picture here. Look at the mother and daughter. They're out there, you know what I'm saying, holding up their signs. How quickly some have forgotten our 9/11 heroes. This is mother and daughter, Carla and Jean. I can't pronounce their last name. It starts with a K. Karakersis, whatever it is. Anyway, so they're out protesting with their little puppies, having a good time, doing what mother and daughter do. You know what I'm saying? And I'm very proud of them for standing up for something that they believed in, which is our 9/11 heroes. I'm very proud of them for that. But I'm going to tell you one thing. I am not proud of them for this crowd. They scurried their asses on up to the Capitol, y'all. And instead of them carrying the 9/11 sign, they carrying a sign that said Frumpy Dump won. Look at them. Standing there, taking pictures in front of the Capitol after they done broke in, just gleaming with pride. Well, I know their asses ain't gleaming with pride now, because they were arrested and charged, and they pled guilty to 1 count each of parading and demonstrating or picketing in the Capitol building related to events on January 6th. Oh, yes, 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 honey. They were charged with entering or remaining in a restricted building or grounds, disorderly and disruptive conduct in a restricted building or grounds, disorderly conduct in Capitol building, parading, demonstrating, and picketing. And they pled guilty to parading, demonstrating, and picketing in the Capitol building. So those two will be sentenced later on. And they were crying, asking for a lighter sentence. And yeah, they're pretty much so they got matching bracelets. They were arrested on the same day. I declare, honey. I tell you what, Gene and Carla, enjoy your stupid prize. That's the only thing I can say for you. That's the only thing I can say to you is enjoy that stupid prize. Well, players, I hope that you all enjoyed this show. I really did. And even though it was a summer show, but again, we need to support Jason Walker's family in finding the answers that they need to what happened to Jason Walker. We need to know the truth. We need to get to the bottom of this. So I am definitely going to stay on top of things. Again, if you guys can support the family, please support the family in any way that you can. If you're in North Carolina and you can participate in a protest, please participate in a protest. If you can donate, donate. If you can share their story, share their story. Do what you can to be involved so that way we can support them and get the answers that we need. I'm hoping that this situation with Gina Hawkins with the asking for the body camera footage to be released. I hope that that is successful. So I will definitely keep you guys abreast. If I get the autopsy report or anything like that, I will come back and let you all know. But players, I really thank y'all for joining me out there in Facebook world. Please thumbs up the video out there in YouTube world. Thumbs up the video. If you're not subscribed to my YouTube and you're on Facebook, make sure you scurry on over to Political Tea Talk. And if you are on YouTube and you're not subscribed to my Facebook page, come on over to Facebook and come follow us because I post stories on Facebook and Instagram that I don't post anywhere else. So y'all come on and join us because we having a good old funky time over here. Thank y'all for coming and joining me. This is the second show that I've done by myself on the camera. You know, normally for the Real Tea with Double D, I don't get on camera. But I thank y'all so much for coming and seeing my face and enjoying the show and being here with me. I really appreciate you all. And I hope that y'all have a pleasant night. And I'll see y'all next time. Y'all take care. Bye, players.